So I've been working on this training program called the Felt Sense Polyvagal Model through the Polyvagal Institute. And it has been very interesting, very, very interesting. It's like a somatic based therapy to understand one's stress responses
Hmm.
and to develop like what they call like a shift, a felt sense shift in your stress as you acknowledge what you're experiencing. So it's very meditative too. I really enjoy it. But at the end, it's just like another certification. So something to put on the website. It's like a new service I can offer.
Oh, did you finish your website? Is
No,
that
I'm still
still?
working on it. I'm not doing it. I've decided to hire somebody.
Yeah. The stuff you showed me, was that something you had created, or that was
No,
someone?
that was what my designer had come up with.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's helping me. She's really very responsive and very like she truly wants to understand the business.
That's
So I
good.
like that. Yeah, this is what she does full time, website design. So yeah, so far so good. She's going to do the actual website come February. So that's on my today's list is to do more of the prep work. She's really organized. She provides like these Google Doc folders, and then each folder has like one specific document or concept that you have to work on. And so I'm just going through it. So like she did my branding, and one page was like all about like how do I want people to feel when they look at my brand? How do I want people, what do I want to convey about myself through my brand? Then like the third page is, what sort of colors do I really like? What fonts do I really like? And then I had to create a Pinterest board of imagery of like my style, like, in terms of everything, like architecture, landscape, even animals and pets. um, if I could pick my dream bedroom, give her 10 pictures of what my dream bedroom, my dream office, my dream living room would look like. And so it's from that she kind of gets a sense of who I am. And then she works with a graphic designer to come up with the design. So we came up with this concept of a passport stamp because I like the like kind of the metaphor of like, psychotherapy as being like traveling through time. Um, and so, yeah, so this is a passport stamp with my name, and it says EMDR Therapy Works on it. And then it has a B just to represent Melissa.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to use her again when I start my second business, when I get into when I develop my coaching program. And then Mike started a business, so he's going to hopefully use her for that too. But yeah, she's pretty good.
When are you starting the coaching?
Sometime this year, I got two boys going into college, so I got to do it quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that over the summer, I think.
Hmm.
And that pulled in like 11K just in 6 months. So that was cool.
That is really cool. Yeah,
It just
Mike.
it's also, even if you're not just being a coach, but have like a therapy practice also, it's very helpful when you stumble across someone that truly needs support, or especially like family reunification, and when they're in different states and stuff where we're so constrained by licensure. If there's no medical necessity, it's it's important that they have someone that's skilled. And the risk is, if we as therapists don't also have like a coaching business too, they're gonna meet with someone that is just a coach that doesn't have like true quality training.
Yeah,
So it's like a coach, we are immensely overqualified. Um, so I think it's great. I think it's important. And some people get butthurt because you're like bypassing these like different regulatory bodies and all this. And I'm like, all right, well, you know what? Keep taking your Aetna, and we're seeing 40 people a week, and I'll do my own thing. Thank you for sharing.
yeah, yeah.
You want to work with the system? Like, you go for it, bro.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Let me know how that works out for you.
It's horrible. Like I've had to like refer people to like specialists because I don't specialize, for example, in OCD. Like now
Hmm.
you use EMDR to treat OCD, but unfortunately people have this idea that exposure therapy is like the gold standard, which is kind of silly, but okay, whatever. And So I've reached out to people's insurance companies to try to get them to see specialists, and they're like, no, they can just go to any therapist, or you can keep seeing them. And I'm like, no, I mean, they need someone who's seen this presentation time and time again and can give them a clear treatment plan.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's very frustrating.
Yeah, I met with someone last month, a guest for the podcast, that specializes in neurodivergence,
Hmm.
which was good for me because it's easy for me to write off all of that based on social media buzzwords. But it was interesting to hear um, her take and perspective on how you have to adjust the way in which you treat someone who has like legitimate ADHD or like obviously like a autism or something like that. And it also reaffirmed that I have ADHD. I was like, so I thought I maybe worked through all that, and then I was listening like, no, I've just adapted. It's still right there. Because she used some interesting term like there's three. I can't remember what the third is, but one is masking, and then one's adapting. So it's about the transformation of someone with, say ADHD throughout childhood, adolescence, and then into adulthood. Like some people can hide it and mask it. Some people learn how to make it a superpower. And then I
Hmm.
guess the other one is like they're debilitated by it. They're not functioning.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I had a client use that phrase masking in session too. But she was using it more to describe like hiding her true feelings to present as though she's cheerful.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good. I'm
She
glad she.
came she like they came up with that, or did you reflect that and then they noticed it?
It was a process to get her to use that word
Yeah.
because, like in session, she would present like she's coping really, really well. And so, but then she came back the next time we were starting to process a memory and we didn't finish it. We were still in the processing phase and it was technically an incomplete session. And so she came back the next session and just said how she sat on the couch for a really long period of time in this dorsal vagal shutdown state. And so I was a little surprised for her to say that because she's never described ever experiencing that. And so finally, I pointed that out, like the incongruence of, I've been working with her for a couple of years now, and this is the first time she's ever described that. But what she was saying in session sounded like this happens somewhat frequently. And so, yeah, she finally goes, well, when I come in here, I really mask.
Hmm.
I was like, well, we need to stop doing that. I don't think I said it like that, but I was like, no, I mean, this is the place to describe, what's really going on so that we can get feedback. Cause like I need to know what's happening in between session to inform where we go next with the protocol. So that her being transparent about what she'd experienced that dorsal vagal shutdown phase really informed me, okay, this memory is too big. We need to go deeper in time to maybe a quote unquote smaller memory with a younger self because the memory we've been working on doesn't have the ego strength, if you will,
Creating
to
like a
really focus
flooding.
on. Yeah, I mean, flooding. I mean, no, she wasn't getting flooded in session because she was really staying within her window of tolerance. But it's when she leaves and then reflects later.
Right.
Um,
That's when she's flooding, right?
I mean, but she's kind of leaving. She's going into a dorsal vagal shutdown stage. So it's kind of like I told her, like, there's no thing as mistakes. It's always just feedback. So any feedback you can give me helps me pivot as to what you're experiencing. But, there's nothing wrong with a dorsal vagal shutdown stage. I mean, it's just feedback, it's information. And so I was like, you can do one of two things. You can either let it ride until you naturally come out of it, or, you can actively work your way out of it if sitting on the couch for a long period of time is inconvenient. Clearly not all of us can afford to do that. And there are ways to get out of those, to find safety, to come back into a ventral vagal state.
So
And so
she
we talked
has a
about that.
PR manager present in session. You're thinking about
Oh, yeah, yeah.
masking.
Yeah. Yes, very
So
much so.
that's become adaptive somehow.
Oh yeah, I mean, as a woman in the world, I mean, yeah, I mean, as an American woman, that's expected. You can't just walk around without your PR mask on, especially like if you have you're a mom and you have a child in public school, for example. Yeah, you're expected to be, pleasant and socially engaging. And so, yeah, so it's performative. But it's very interesting because my practicum supervisor back when I was in graduate school warned me of that. She said, Melissa, you have to be very careful because people will present as though, because they want you to like them, they will
Yeah,
present.
we actually talked about last time we met,
Yeah.
ironically.
And so those words, like, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but like you'll hear something and there's a part of you that just knows what the person's saying is deeply true, almost prophetic. And I've held on to that for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what that's about. Like, what do you show or display that invites someone in to perform or to like seek approval?
Oh, people have told me it's that I present as though I'm very calm and I have everything together.
Yeah, I
And that
probably have a similar display.
you don't? Is that what you
No, I
said?
said I probably have a similar
I mean,
display.
you and I had, but I had to do that though, because my mother was
Yeah.
completely dysregulated as a kid. And somebody had to be the adult in the room, so to
Oh,
speak.
I was in a meeting last night and this guy said, if I can no longer resent my mother, then who do I have to blame? And
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, like, damn, all right. I was like not really paying attention. I just heard that. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because
So that's
it's
very
so
true.
easy for I it's a constant thing I work through with resentments of formative figures, but it can so easily be really one of the main constructs of identity is like a resentment towards someone.
It is
Like it can
yeah,
really inform
absolutely.
every part of your narrative and like
Every part. It can be like the
your entire
absolute
lifespan.
foundation of your psyche architecture.
And
Absolutely.
it's not for me anymore, but it's still part of it and it can be, right?
No,
It's like
wait,
that stuff can become activated.
repeat what he said again.
If I can no longer resent my mother, then who do I have to blame?
Yes. And that I think can also point to why sometimes people don't make progress in psychotherapy, right?
For
Because
sure.
if we keep working on one's relationship with whatever parental figure, or person in their life, ex-husband, yeah, then
Mm-hmm.
there's like a deep well of grief and shame that might come, whether it's rational or not, I don't know. But yeah, that somebody doesn't, that they haven't spent the time working on themselves. Yeah, I mean, I work with people of all ages, and a lot of people are still processing divorces that have happened years ago.
Right.
And if that gets resolved, where I don't have my ex-husband to blame anymore, for example, then it's like I have to acknowledge I didn't take responsibility for something, possibly.
Yeah, like responsibility for potentially contributing to the dysfunction or responsibility for the healing
Yeah, yeah, and moving on with your life in whatever way that looks for
and
you.
letting go.
Yeah, because like as Marsha Linehan said, we all want to seek a life that's well lived. I'm paraphrasing here, and that looks different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody's life well lived is rooted in blaming and blaming and blaming somebody, I would imagine that when that blame is finally put down, there's going to be grief that they maybe misused their time.
It's terrifying. We've all met someone who's older that has lived their entire life that way,
Mm-hmm.
where they're just angry and bitter and resentful and consistently victimize themselves. And when they interact with family, it's just utter chaos, and it just creates this spiral within the entire system. It's so exhausting and terrifying to envision like an entire life being led that way.
Yeah, I mean, that reminds me of so many people we met when we worked at the substance use treatment center.
Sure.
Yeah, who like got, I mean, you would think that way they were talking that the divorce or the, the break in the relationship or whatever it was just happened like 3 days ago. But then you come to find out listening to their story, this is something that really happened 35, 40, 50 years ago.
And it's still impacting every decision they make
Every
in the day to day.
Yeah.
And I think if we're holding on to like a failed relationship for decades,
Mhm.
it's got to be beyond that relationship. Like there's got to be. I think it's the same in either extreme, right? Where it's if I'm dating someone for a month and then I'm having to heal for 5 years, or if I was married for a number of years and then divorced for 40, and I'm still like completely activated by that and always talking about it with my children. Like those two extremes speak to there's something within me, like my attachment, like how does this inform me about my own identity or worth? It's
Mhm.
not about the person. It can't be at that point.
No, at that point it's not. It's all a deflection. Absolutely. But this reminds me of that no, it's not social media. That news story about that poor woman and her dentist husband in Ohio who were murdered by her ex-husband recently.
What? I did not
Yeah,
hear
it's really
that.
sad. This woman, I think she and her husband are in their late 30s, and they've only been married less than 5 years, and they were both shot and killed. This is very recently by the woman's ex-husband, and she divorced
Jesus.
that man almost 8 years ago. Maybe even, and like they were only married for like maybe a handful of months, like 6, 7 months before she called it
Wow.
quits. And so the divorce, they had no children, no assets, nothing. I mean, it was like, on paper, it looked like a clean break. But from what I was reading, this poor woman received like harassing messages all throughout the years from the ex-husband. And this
Mm.
ex-husband is very well accomplished in his own right. He's a vascular surgeon, but he just couldn't let go.
Yeah, that was a severe attachment rupture for him.
Oh my God. And then engaged in, yeah, femicide. It's horrible. And killed the husband too, the new husband.
I would be so fucking pissed if like I'm just live my life happy with some woman and then I look up and I just see a gun and it's held by her ex-husband. Like that moment right before I die, I would be so pissed. I
I
was like,
would
really?
too.
This is how I die?
I would be so pissed too. Like I think about that.
God.
But thankfully, the murderer, didn't spared her two children. But like by all outward appearances, this woman and her new husband and their two little kids. I mean, there's a nice little family, just living their lives,
Well,
minding
and
their business.
it's irreparable damage to those two children, and then if they have kids, there's going to be these gaps in attachment.
Oh my God.
Almost certainly, right? It'd be really hard to avoid that. So there's this intergenerational trauma from that event too that's going to happen for at least 3 cycles.
I'm glad I'm talking about this with you because this has been kind of plaguing me. Yeah. So from what I read, the murderer was adopted as a child
Oh.
and had, again, by all outward appearances, very decent upbringing,
Well,
right?
I
Like,
said he had a severe. I said it sounds like he had a severe attachment rupture.
yeah, you
There
hit the
you
nail on
go.
the head. There you go, right? And then, yeah, so then he grows up, he becomes a vascular surgeon. You don't just become a vascular surgeon overnight. So he clearly dedicated himself to that pursuit. And then I guess her leaving him was another severe attachment rupture. But then
Well, the
also,
pursuit of being a vascular surgeon may have been an echo of that rupture to begin with.
in
Like
what way?
the just being overzealous or trying to achieve something very difficult
Oh, to be good
to
enough?
speak to some worthiness element. Yeah.
Well, there's also a high correlation of psychopathy with surgeons. So that could
What
be
is
a thing.
psychopathy?
Psychopathy? Yeah, the psychological pathology, psychopathy.
Oh,
Yeah, with surgeons. So being a psychopath.
yeah. Yeah, don't they listen to like metal during brain surgery?
I'm sure they listen to all kinds of music. But yeah, so that's interesting. But then I also read that the same murderer he became estranged from his adoptive parents, like by his choice. And I guess one article was just expressing there didn't seem to be a rationale for that.
Severing relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting.
And
Very
it's unfortunate that we don't have social systems that are able to keep eyes on people like that.
well, it goes back to masking, right? Because, like, I
Yeah.
mean, the social system, like doctors are really good at policing their own. So in his, internship, his fellowship, if he had one, you would think that he would have been weeded out if he was demonstrating some sort of maladaptive thought processes or, poor interrelational skills. So you would think.
It may have not shown too, because his attachments may have not spiraled unless it was romantic. So he may not have been that way with his professors or his colleagues, or
Yeah, that's possible too. I mean,
yeah, because sometimes it's like very pointed, where they're like pretty adaptive in most spaces, but then these like one or two, they're fucking crazy.
yeah, obviously, yeah, he's using his I guess perhaps using these relationships to meet his attachment needs, the romantic relationship.
Yeah,
That's so sad.
but he's alive, I guess.
The murderer, yeah. Oh yeah, he's fine. Going to
Yeah,
prison.
I didn't know if he got shot or something.
Oh no. Mm-mm. You would
Maybe
think he would.
shot himself.
Yeah, you would think that would be it, but no. I think the dipshit thought he was actually going to get away with it.
You're the first suspect, so good luck.
He sent 8 years of horrible messages.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna kill both of you. I didn't do anything.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the other part of when you watch some kind of murder doc. It's like, oh, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Well, we're missing an important element here, which is they're not in a sound mind.
Yeah.
Like if they're doing that, they're not in a sound mind. Like as I'm sitting there watching it, I'm in a decently sound mind.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is when you actually go through with stuff like that, you're not thinking straight.
No, I don't. I mean, you know what though? If he was kind of like a psychopath, he probably was thinking with a very calculated, to some degree.
Yeah, within that specific, yeah.
Yeah. But nowadays though, with the depth and breadth of forensics, why does anybody think that they can get away with shit? That's just
Yeah, rule number one
that's
is
my
you
logic
have
mind.
to. Rule number one is you have to kill someone you don't know. So that completely exempts me from ever wanting to do it.
I'm just not smart enough. I don't have the drive, the follow through, the
I'm
interest.
not committed enough. I don't have enough commitment.
We're both too good looking for prison, Evan, so we can't.
I will say, I can attest, like going from just walking around in the world to them being cuffed and put in a space you can't leave unless they let you is man, that's an experience you cannot have in any other way. I guess outside of being kidnapped or something.
Yeah, I don't want to ever have that experience.
It's like you know, maybe you're around a friend or a family member in a courtroom, and then once you pass that barrier, like from the courtroom past the door into the jail housing or something, it's like a completely different world where no one there gives a shit about you. You are an animal. Period. You can ask them for something. No. It could be a toothbrush.
Yeah.
It's a complete 180.
I think one of the saddest things I saw when I worked at the jail is watching somebody make that mental shift from free person to inmate.
Yeah,
And how quickly it happens. Like people, yeah.
It is like shocking.
Yeah, the transformation was apparent to me very quickly.
Mm-hmm. And it's weird because it's not something that can really be experienced unless that happens. So there's no way to really know exactly how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of be like, you never know how it feels to be buried alive or something. You can think, oh, that'd be terrifying, but like if you were actually experiencing it, how intense that would be.
Yeah, that would be horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where to go.
Yeah. Talking about being murdering and being jailed.
I don't know. I just like, what the fuck is the point? But that's just kind of my rational brain talking. Like, I
Well,
just don't.
they have rage, right?
Yeah, exactly. But we've all had rage. So
How does it get to that?
how does it get to that point? Because this man, this murderer, I mean, he didn't just like wake up one morning and then drive, 15 minutes. He had to complete this. Like, the plan was wasn't well executed, obviously, no pun intended, but he had to drive like 11 hours. That would be like enough time to like calm down and start thinking rationally, in my mind at least.
Well, that's
So,
like the what's his name? Magione guy who
oh,
who's just,
Luigi. Yeah.
he like is suspected to have killed the insurance CEO. So it's United Healthcare. You and I have talked a lot of shit about them, especially when we were
Mhm.
in treatment, and just like how criminal they were and how they would not provide care to people that obviously needed it. They were one of the worst ones. They like wouldn't reimburse for stuff, and yeah, I probably knew more about that than you did when I was the director. But you
Mhm.
know, there wasn't ever even a moment where I started to strategize how to murder the CEO of United Healthcare,
Right.
much less like 3D print a gun and then drive there and all that, right? It's like, man, there is something going on that's different in that brain.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think this makes me think about addiction. And I was working with this client yesterday, and I think we were talking about her addiction. And I think what was illuminated was that this client didn't have like a robust life. Like, there wasn't anything else going on in life, like
Mm-hmm.
not well developed hobbies, not a well developed sense of self, not a good network of friends. And so then that kind of makes me think, well, these people who like conspire and then murder people, they don't have like, it makes me wonder, like, do they have a well balanced life? Like, is there something? It
Because
just
there's
feels.
not a lot of other exits. Thinking if I'm driving to go do this really crazy thing, there's not these other displays of relationship and connection.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like we're in Texas trying to drive all the way to, I don't know, what's the state left of Texas, New Mexico?
in Mexico, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And that would take 10 or 11 hours.
exactly.
And yeah,
There's
I mean,
nowhere to stop. No
nothing
one's
to look
stopping.
at, but dust and cattle and tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You would think that there would be like you would calm down and you'd be like, okay, this was irrational. I'm going to turn around now.
Yeah,
But
it's zero regulation skills.
yeah, yes, yeah. And then I keep going back to the question, like, to what end? Like, what did you prove? You murdered your ex-wife, okay, and her husband, and you've left these two little kids without parents. What did you prove? Like, what are you going to gain?
I guess it's like he's thinking, I've been able to take away something that you had that you took from me.
Hmm. I mean, but the joke is on. I'm maybe wondering if he's like actually trying to hurt the children, because the joke's on him, right? Because if she's dead, she's dead.
Yeah.
She's not suffering. So I wonder if he was actually targeting the children passively, indirectly.
Or maybe it's like I win. Like a very childish, like, oh, we're playing chess. I'm just gonna hit all the chess pieces on the floor and walk away. I win.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
he
what it
got
sounds
her.
like.
That
Yeah,
could be.
like because that would make sense if there's an early attachment rupture.
Mm-hmm.
Like in those moments of complete insanity, he's time traveled in a way back to that mode of thinking.
Yeah.
He took his ball and went home, just in a very adult, permanent way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, it's just sad.
Yeah.
Well, what stories are you following in the news, if any?
Oh man, I'm even more under a rock than I was. Like I have the last week or so. Not that I wasn't like on reels doom scrolling 5 hours a day or anything, but there would be moments throughout the day where I would notice that I'd pick up my phone and just like scroll through shit and very mindlessly.
Mm-hmm.
And this last week, I've made an intentional effort and been pretty successful just completely removing that. Because I'm like, we talk about a lot of ways to like improve our functioning and like our level of meaning, purpose, and happiness. But I'm like, what is something on a very like granular level that matters really, really like a lot? I'm thinking it's mood.
Mm-hmm.
It's my mood, right? Like we can get very like complex with all sorts of stuff, but generally speaking, like our mood in the now is one of the most important things that we have. And so I'm like, well, what can I mitigate that's like obviously just taking away from my ability to have like a higher average in my mood? And I think one of them is just like this draw to being overly sensitized.
Oh, sensitized to like social media and
Just
just
stimuli, just like just this consumption of the brain of like all these lights and movements,
grind.
and
Yeah.
I'm like this has gotta, if I want to operate at like a 6 out of 10 mood, like a little bit above more, like I don't want to be low or really high, but right there. And then I'm like doing all this like stimuli consumption. My brain can't stay at the 6. It just kind of swings down. And then I need that to put it back to the 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I end up having to like use something like that, or else there's this disparity, almost like a withdrawal.
Okay. And so what are you using? You're going out of town a lot for rock climbing and stuff.
Yeah, I went to Chattanooga last weekend. That was
That's
fun.
cool.
It's not that I'm not watching stuff, but it's more longer form. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it's not like I'm like no TV, but it is very different because I can tell you what I watched.
Mm-hmm.
like like if I just like go through a bunch of reels, I couldn't tell you what I fucking watched. It could be like 30 minutes. No idea. I couldn't tell you. I might be able to tell you like one that I remember.
I've been,
Whereas
you just got to change your algorithm. I mean, not that, okay, but I agree with you. So, short form content is not good for the brain, especially if you have ADHD.
well, here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. But like, I have been finding
Mm.
a lot of therapists who are very informative. I've been following a lot of marriage and family therapists, and that's been very helpful in understanding like the work that they do to illuminate people's attachment style and then their expectations of relationships and then their roles and responsibilities and really countering that enmeshment that often happens between couples. That's been very interesting. So like my save folder is huge now.
Yeah,
I want to go back to.
I will still sometimes get into, it's only been the last week, but like there's some like painters I follow that
Oh yeah.
is like directly inspiring to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, obviously it depends on what it is and what my level of focus is, but I think probably the ADHD part of me, it makes it even harder to retain. It's just kind of like feeding this stimulated side of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like trying to focus on like what are very granular things that I have in my control that like I can do to improve my mood on a
Mm-hmm.
consistent basis. Because I very much like there's a lot of stuff I don't have any power over, but I definitely have power over that. by and large.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm trying to do something similar, but just by taking more days off, more breaks.
Hell yeah. You know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Being I got so many projects that I really need to attend to.
I gotta get you to stop working on Fridays.
I like Fridays, but I don't like working on Mondays typically. But my schedule, unfortunately, this year has been dictated by my daughter's dance schedule. She is in competitive dance, and she practices like 12 hours now a week.
That's fucking crazy.
It's crazy for a 10-year-old.
That is insane. Why? For what?
I know. She's really good now. I mean, she's really good.
Yeah, man. 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I mean, if it's just during the week?
And then some weekends. So then it becomes like 15 to 16 hours a week.
So it's 2.5 hours a day?
No. So some nights it's 4 hours.
4 hours? Okay. Hold on. What is she doing for 4 hours?
Oh my God. Let me tell you. Let me stand by. Stand by.
Oh, there's a schedule?
Oh yeah. I got a folder. Okay. So today is
our listeners definitely want to hear this.
Today is okay. Yeah. So tomorrow will be 3.5 hours. And so she's doing, okay, wait, today is 3 hours. So she's on the production team. So they're doing a dance routine called, I don't know why it's called production, but it's like a mixture of like jazz and tap.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think she's doing that for 2 hours. And then she goes to ballet for an hour. And then tomorrow she's on another team routine called the junior company line. And she does that for 30 minutes. And then she does production again for like another hour and then more ballet. And then she finishes tomorrow at 8:30. So tomorrow is 3.5 hours. And then Thursday is 2.5 hours, which is, I guess, better. She has like a seminar with a choreographer.
Well, this is why you got to get your coaching practice running. I don't even know if it's the kids in college. This is probably more than college.
She has a seminar with a choreographer, tap, and then she takes a class called Leaps and Turns, which is really fun because we were at this restaurant with my aunt, and there she is going like up and down around the tables, just doing her leaps and turns. And then on Saturday, I think that's like 2.5 hours more of like the same sort of like routine. She's doing different. I think she's got like 4 routines she's learning, and she has acrobatics. Yeah.
Lots of driving. And then you have to probably sit there, right?
Well, luckily it's near my office. So I just go back to my office. And so I'll see clients in the evening times now.
That's very nice.
And then it's in the same parking lot as my gym. So I'll see clients, go to the gym, and then pick her up.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I mean, I've kind of made it work.
Sit there.
Yeah. There's no way on God's green earth I could do that for 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah. That's absurd.
Yeah. So I think the long-term goal is she wants to join. We're trying to think like maybe she'll start specializing in ballet. So maybe she'll start to move to more of a ballet exclusive company, or just do more like competition through this studio.
Well, yeah, it sounds like she's doing a lot of, it's like a collective approach still, but she's probably around the age where she might want to specialize.
Yeah.
Because I think that's how they do it with the dancing, especially, is they'll give you like 4 or 5 different practices initially.
Yeah, she's not going to obviously be a professional, maybe not obvious, but she's not going to be a professional dancer. We've told her that we're not paying for a dance degree. So she's only 10. She has no idea what we're saying when we say that anyway. But
you're getting it in early.
It's like, you got to have a career, girl. You're not going to be a dancer on a cruise ship. So.
Correct. Yeah. That's where that leads usually, the cruise ship.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, we always have dreams about going on to Broadway or something like that, but I don't, we gotta be realistic. We gotta have real skills.
I kind of want to go on a cruise soon. Just eat a bunch of soft serve, lay around, be real American.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I are planning a trip to Europe on a cruise ship for next summer.
Dang, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I think that's gonna be a
Yeah,
lot of
my
fun.
sister, they flew into Europe and then did one through some. It was almost like a part of it was like a fucking river. It was like a legit cruise ship going through canals, I guess, of what they would be.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
Viking has cruise ships,
yeah,
lines. Viking, yeah, that's one option too. The river ones aren't that very expensive, not as expensive. But what's nice about Viking, and I promise I don't get any kickbacks from them, is they included in the price is all your food and your excursions.
yeah, that's
So
cool.
other cruise lines will kind of nickel and dime you
So
along the way.
just you going?
Me and my friend, yeah, from college.
Nice, that's good
Yeah, Mike is doesn't like to. He travels for work, so he doesn't like to travel for a living. I mean, for
for
fun.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Plus, he hates cruise ships. He thinks they're floating petri dishes.
Well, they are, but sometimes you just gotta
Yeah,
live in it.
yeah. He's got all these rules about traveling. It's kind of funny.
Really. Well, glad you're going instead.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It'll be fun.